At last Thursday's board meeting, we heard a few fawning autocrats heap praise on you outgoing board members for your extraordinarily weak accomplishments during your 6-year tenures. Wow, you were amazing. You hired Jason Glass. You implemented the deeper learning model. You passed the bond and mill levy. And you hired Dorland. Blah, blah, blah. Vomit, vomit, vomit. 6 years on the board and not one mention of your most important job, improving education in Jeffco. Not one. Do you know why? Because you failed in your most important job. Achievement and growth are far worse now than when you started. You have been horrendous for Jeffco. Even the mentioned accomplishments are actually failures. Glass and his ego were a disaster from the get-go. Achievement and growth fell under his so-called leadership. The deeper learning model is just a bunch of educrat buzzwords that you never asked questions about. If kids can't read, which most can't in Jeffco, how can you get to deeper learning? But you fell for Glass's grift, and the kids suffered. And what about the bond? Jeffco's never going to get another one passed because of you. Moss Adams says the bond is $136 million over budget, and Reed predicts that will rise another $40 million. Of course you thought everything was so good that you flat out refused to conduct an audit. You knew what you were hiding. Your financial stewardship and oversight have been just horrendous. And the Myers pool? Do you really expect voters in the rest of the county to ever vote for another bond when they are now paying for Arvada's pool? You never considered the long-term consequences of your actions. And what about the move of 6th graders to middle school? How did that work out for the 6th graders? If you looked at 6th grade growth and achievement, you would see that 6th graders are faring far worse than the rest of the district, which is bad in and of itself. Did you even think of the impact that loss of students would have on the smaller neighborhood elementary schools? Nothing but an utter disaster. But you had the crowning proud accomplishment of closing 2 high FRL schools. That was sarcasm, if you didn't catch it. Those schools were closed without process in violation of district policy. Congratulations on that achievement. And finally, in an act no doubt motivated to suppress dissent, you abruptly terminated the publishing of letters to the board. That wasn't done to accomplish anything positive, other than to keep people in the district from seeing how many issues you failed to successfully address and truly understand how bad you were. By the way, did you respond to all of the letters you received during your term? Or did you just ignore them? And then there's COVID. You essentially sat that one out, running away from the issue in cowardice and just letting things go. Once again, great leadership. You should probably get a medal or something. Despite running on a platform of transparency and accountability, you have been anything but transparent, and you certainly haven't held anyone accountable. Your lack of ability to provide true governance to the district has left it in far worse shape than you found it. And we know it wasn't in great shape in 2015. Just like Glass, who left the district with his tail between his legs, your legacy, despite the half-assed platitudes we heard at your final meeting, is just as dubious. You failed in your most important task, significantly harmed untold numbers of kids, and are leaving the community with a bad taste in its mouth from a mismanaged and over-budget bond program and Arvada pool debt, which will make it extremely difficult to ever get another bond passed. Congratulations! From the bottom of our heart, we don't thank you. You won't be missed.